Hello, welcome to The Brain Scrub, a somewhat improvised approach to mental health. My name is Glenn Sollers. Thanks for tuning into today's episode. And I don't know where this is going yet. However, I'm thinking this is around the topic of champions. And why am I choosing this topic? Because last night and this morning I watched a movie called Champion, starring Woody Harrelson. And Woody Harrelson is a coach for a team, and he's doing this as community service for a team that has mental disabilities. And he needs to learn about how to adapt to this environment and how to coach these youth in playing basketball. And movies like these always touch my heart. Yeah, there were some tears flowing, which I really needed, and I was happy to have that. And it also touched my heart because the theme of the movie was kind of like we're all champions in our own little way. And it made me think that we all do the best we can for the most part. But yet in life, I feel we tend to focus on movie stars, sports stars, politicians, people that are in the public realm, and man, look at yourself. Like, you are listening to this podcast. You have made it this far in life, and pat yourself on the back because we've all had stuff we've dealt with in life, and maybe we're not multimillionaires, or we're not actors, or we're not popular out there, but we're popular amongst our friends, our family, and those people that really love us, and celebrate that. This movie was partially based on that. This team that played for the Special Olympics, and years ago, I worked for a company called Otis Elevators, and we sponsored the Special Olympics in North York, Ontario, which is just north of Toronto, and I had the privilege of watching figure skaters practice. And these were kids with physical and mental disabilities, but some of them were from parts of Africa and have only been on rollerblades, and now they were skating on ice. I looked at these youth and I turned to somebody and I said, "This touches my heart. I feel so sad when I watch this because of what these kids have to endure." And this individual said to me, "You know what, Glenn? Don't be sad. They're having the time of their life. They are loving this." And I never thought of that until that point in time. I had a cousin, rather. He died when he was 32. His name was Brian, and Brian was born with shortly after, he had a brain tumor. The tumor was removed. He was then rendered severely physically and mentally disabled, and this kid, my cousin, was a champion. His parents were a champion because the stuff that they all had to go through. Brian became the center of my aunt and uncle's attention, where they were committed to the growth and development of this child. They trained him how to walk. They tried to teach him how to speak, and he could speak some words. He had an amazing laugh, a heart of gold, a smile that could melt anybody. And they spent so much time with him, developing him, working with him. And through pain and agony, there were times I would see my cousin in tears. He was just so angry, so upset. He was going through so much pain. And as were my aunt and uncle doing this, or just even kids looking at my cousin like there's something different about him. And you know what? There's something different about each and every one of us. I don't think we can ever imagine what it's like to be somebody else. We could say, you know what? I can have empathy for you, but do we really? Because we all have a certain history that we've had to endure. We don't know what anybody else's life is like. So we can't possibly put ourselves in their shoes because we all have a history, we all have things that we've been through. And then when I look at my aunt and uncle and my cousin, what I really admired about them was the love connection amongst the three of them. the way they stood for each other, protected each other, supported each other. Nothing else was really as important as the three of them. What was the result? A messy house, dust everywhere, a lot of time at home, spending time with friends and family. This was the stuff that brought them joy. They're the real heroes. I felt like a hero as well once in a while with my cousin, because whenever I went there, he would do something as simple as squeeze my 2 fingers hard. They didn't hurt, but I would just start pretending I was in pain as a kid. And he was so happy when that happened. He just started laughing. For me to have that much impact on somebody at a young age was really powerful for me. There is nothing like making somebody else smile and generating that love. And he and I loved each other so much. I miss him dearly. He died when he was 32. He went to a care home because his parents couldn't take care of him anymore. He was just getting too heavy. And then unfortunately he died. I miss him a lot. And when I see movies like this, it was a reminder of how these kids were having so much fun on the basketball court. They were almost like living in the moment, where I worry about the past, I worry about the future. And then when these kids were out there, and I don't know what they were really thinking when they're playing basketball, but what for me was portrayed in the movie was an intense focus, was enjoyment, was doing things that they felt they needed to do without any fear or hesitancy. They had so much courage just doing what they felt was right and putting their heart into something. And I think about my career, my life sometimes, and I sometimes complain about certain things. And when I consider what I do for a living, this gift that I bring, in a sense, to others of building stronger people and building communication in this world and providing people with tools and self-awareness and this ability to connect, setting our differences aside and really seeing what's in the moment and living in a possibility-oriented world where you deal with things, you take action on things. And this is what is portrayed in this movie as well. Like, there's so many messages that now I'm talking that have come through for me in this film, that these kids were taking action. They were listening, they were having fun, they were goofing around a bit, but it was all about being in the moment and doing what had to be done, and also celebrating successes. I don't want to get into the conclusion of the movie, but that was a big part of it, was this massive celebration afterwards and what it was based on. It was, for me, so enlightening, and it just showed the importance of friendship, connection, doing what you think is the right thing to do, and supporting each other. And this came through for me. And this is what was role modeled with my family, with Brian, my aunt and uncle. All 3 of them sadly are gone now. And the 3 of them are likely together, wherever that may be, celebrating their spirit, their life. Where do I go from here? Do I need to go anywhere? I guess where I need to go is, how does this translate into my life? Here I go, trying to align things to my life. I tend to worry at times about different things, different body aches, pain, sensations, and maybe I need to let that go. There's people out there that have severe mental and physical disabilities, and they make it. And there's this incredible TV show filmed in Montreal, Canada, called You Can't Ask That. And I'm not sure if it's airing anymore. And it's all about people who have different physical and mental disabilities. And what they do is they interview them, and people send in questions that normally you would not ask anybody but who had these physical or mental disabilities, but it's probably stuff that you already want to know. And questions like, do you have any regrets for what happened in terms of becoming blind, or whatever it might be? Like, these are questions you wouldn't ask people in a public environment. And these individuals respond. I've learned so much about different physical and mental disabilities, but one theme that comes across in the show is that these folks are making the most out of their life, and they wouldn't want anything different. They have a physical and mental disability and wouldn't want anything different. How many of us can say, in all honesty, that who I am right now is perfect? I love who I am. I am happy and content with my life. I wouldn't want it any other way. For the most part, I can say that. There's certain things in my life that are not working well. The folks on this show, they are completely content with their life. They are managing through life, making the most out of life. And I have accomplished a lot in my life. I am proud of where I've come in my life. I'm proud of my resilience, my ability to move forward, what I've created and co-created with other people. I am grateful for the fact that I can empower others to be their best selves. And I have nothing really to complain about. I have so much to be grateful for. And I guess that's the biggest thing for me, is to stop being concerned about that stuff that may not be working, and to really jump into all you are, who you are. Be that champion. Focus on you. Spend time with you. Be with the gifts that you've brought this world. Be with the gifts that you've brought your friends, your family. These other people out there, the stars, the sports stars, yeah, they're successful in some ways. They're popular. They may be considered champions. They've made it. But so have we. Celebrate yourself. You are a champion. Thanks for listening.